just sitting, basically. But if you can, just sitting on your heels. And again, if that's not comfortable, you could use a block and have the block so that it's underneath your bottom and have your heels out to the side. Or if you've got like a cushion or a pillow or something, not a bolster, it'd be a bit hard to clear, but you could put like a soft kind of either folded up blanket or a cushion or something underneath. We'll not be here for like loads of time, but we're just going to do a grounding here. So when you're ready, just sitting just in a comfortable position. Again, if you want to adjust it and sit with your legs in front, you can. And we'll just have the hands just really down towards your legs. So again, not that prescriptive. You can have your palms up or down, but try and relax the shoulders down your back. Maybe lower your gaze a little bit or close your eyes. And just start to just take a few moments just to come away from your evening and start to draw your attention inwards. And then just become aware of how your body feels. And if anything does feel uncomfortable, then please feel free just to move out of it. But start to allow the body to relax a little bit. So relax the shoulders down your back. And just become aware of your arms, your hands, your fingers, and your fingernails. Start to notice your back and your front part of your body, and just how it moves on each inhale and exhale. Allow the breath just to move in and out through your nose. Just be aware of it as it touches the front of your nose, moves along your throat and down into your belly. And just notice how that keeps happening. So the breath keeps going without a break. Notice your hips, your legs and your feet, all the way down to your toes and your toenails. Be aware of your physical body, just where it ends. Be aware of your skin and the ear touching it. When you're ready, bring the palms together. And we're just going to gently start to rub the hands just back and forward against each other. Just a little bit of movement, a little bit of heat in the hands. When you're ready, release that. Take your hands, just the palms of them, just in front of your eyes. Start to blink the eyes open. Maybe separate your fingers a little bit so the light starts to move in. And then release the hands away from your face. From here, we're just going to move forwards a little bit. So if you do have any blocks or anything that you're using, you could remove them. And spread your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Maybe just move gently, just side to side a little bit. And then as you inhale, just drop your belly down and pull the chest forwards. As you exhale, if you pull your belly in and just round through your upper back and shoulders. So just gently warming up through the body, just in preparation for the in postures. You do that once more. And then on your next inhale, if you just move into a more kind of neutral position, we'll push the hips back towards your heels. And then move forwards and gently just move further over your wrists. So just warming up through your wrists a little bit. So again, press the hips back. And then moving forwards. Just do that a couple more times. So just taking your own time. And then this time, when you're ready, as you move back, we're going to tuck the toes and we're just going to press up just to a downward facing dog. This will be kind of one of two with this whole practice, but maybe just pedal your feet out a little bit. Maybe shake the head a little. As you inhale, lift the heels and lower the knees all the way back down towards the ground. Okay, from here, we're going to bring your right knee just towards your right wrist. We're going to come in for pigeon first of all. So if you draw your right knee forwards, as you do that, if you sit onto your right hip and then just draw your foot in front of you. So I'll give you two choices here for pigeon. So if you don't particularly like pigeon, then you can just bring your bent left leg just to the heel, and then just either with a cushion, which you have in front of you, you could fold forward onto it and release down. You could even stay a little bit higher if you want to. If you'd rather, we'll use the hands and just press yourself back up and start to slide your left leg back. So coming into more of a traditional pigeon posture. So take a few moments just at the beginning of the posture to align yourself. So align your hips. Maybe look back and look at that back leg and just make sure that it's in a straight line. Also use anything you can to support you. So you might want to, if your hip is quite high, you might want to grab a block and place it under your right hip. And then you might want to start to lower yourself down. Again, you could use a bolster just in front of you here, or a cushion, or a block for underneath your head. So as we come in and are in practice, we'll be holding the postures for about 3 minutes. And the idea with that is that we allow, or take time to allow the body to let go of the grip that it has. So start to settle into it. And again, try not to think that you have to get to the finish of your posture right away. You might move a little bit, and as the body adapts, you might ease into it a little bit more. And start to use your breath, so directing the breath towards areas that feel tight and allow them to relax. So there are silences within the yin practice. You can have music on yourself if you prefer that. So you could play a little background music. Sometimes the silence is nice though. And as you hold the posture, you might feel yourself relaxing a little bit more into it. You might also feel yourself wanting to back out of it. And that is the practice. So if it does become challenging, try to breathe into the challenge. Obviously, if it's painful, you want to get out of there. But if it's just feels a bit like you want to escape from it, then try and breathe into it. When you're ready, we're going to slowly start to come out of this. So just slowly start to walk yourself back up. Maybe just onto your hands here as you come up. And again, try and move in and out of the postures slowly. When you come back up, we're going to sit over onto your right bum cheek. So we're just going to sit over. And then if you swing your left leg all the way around, so it becomes kind of straight out in front of you. Now we're going to come in for half cow face or gomukhasana here. So with your left leg out in front, you're going to take your right leg and you're going to try and stack the knees. So again, if your knee's really high, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. But that right knee, if you take it so that the knee kind of stacks over as much as possible, that left knee. Again, try not to be kind of hanging in the air. We are going to move forward, so we'll just walk the hands forward. But if there's like a big gap there and you've got something that you could rest yourself on, then that is better than just kind of hanging there. So take your time to come in. Your left foot will be a little bit flexed, but not as it would be in a kind of more vinyasa style class. So it's just that it's not kind of completely lax and the leg moves out to the side. So a little bit of flexion, but not extreme. And then just start to release and relax yourself down. So relax your head and neck. And the stretch here is on the back of the left leg, so that hamstring stretch. Again, if it feels too much, you can always bend into it a little bit. And start to breathe into it. So with the yin practice, it's not just physically demanding, it's mentally demanding as well. So we have to try and keep our thoughts present as we sit here. Again, if you feel it releasing a little bit, then move in a little bit more without forcing it. And use the breath, so activate the breath, so in and out through your nose. When you're ready, slowly start to come back up. So again, don't rush out of it, but really take your time. And if you feel like you're about 100 when you're coming out of it, that's okay. That's kind of part of it. You might feel like that indeed. Okay, so with this right leg, we're then going to take it to the inside of your left thigh. So we're going to come in for our Janushirshasana. Again, you might want to use a strap here, but if you're using it, try not to use it in a kind of grippy way. So we're not kind of gripping onto it and holding it. It would be much better if you could just kind of guide yourself into it, use your strap a little bit, and then actually when you're moving into the posture, release the strap. Maybe have your hands just either side. The same as if you're holding it, then with the best will in the world, we will tend to kind of pull. So, maybe do this for a little bit with your strap or with your hands. And then release it. And again, certainly use anything to support you. So you could put a block even on your thigh and relax your head onto it. Whatever feels right. So maybe now, if you have the strap or you're holding your foot, maybe now you release that and just actually release and relax into it. So Yin works on the principle of not stretching the muscles as such, but of stretching the fascia, the kind of harder material that connects the muscle to the bone. So that takes longer to kind of soften and to stretch out. And it will resist as well. So if you're kind of gripping on, then it will resist. It'll take longer to soften. So try and use your breath and use your mind to seek out the areas of tension, so the areas that are gripping on, and try and allow them to relax. When you're ready, slowly start to walk your hands back up. So again, taking your time as you move out of it. So we're going to do a little counter stretch here. So if you take your right hand just behind your right leg, just to the front of it, sorry, and you're going to push on that right hand, and we're going to come on to the right knee and just lift up and back. So I'll do that from the front as well. So the right hand goes to the right leg, and then we push up and back. Well done. Just take one. We're not staying here for 3 minutes, by the way. Okay, so one more deep inhale, and then slowly release all the way back down. Okay, from there, if you bring both legs in front, maybe give your legs a little shake. And from here, we're going to come in for Paschimottanasana, but we're going to bend both legs. So we're going to come into it a slightly different way. You can still use a strap here. So if you'd like to use a strap, please do so. And what I'd like you to do is either with your straps, which will go around the ball of both of your feet, knees are really bent, or with your hands, you're going to take hold of your feet. And then you're going to kind of walk your hips back. And you're going to walk it back until it feels right. So, you know, it might not be that far, and your knees might be still really bent. Again, if you're doing it with a strap, just trying the balls of your feet, knees are really quite bent to start, and then walk your hips back. And again, you might still keep your knees bent, you might still hold the strap, and then release down. Again, after maybe about 30 seconds, release the strap, release the hands, and just relax yourself forward. But just, you know, to where it feels right. Keep the knees as bent as you'd like. And try and breathe into what you find there. So relax the head and neck. And if you feel after a little bit that you could go a little bit further, then do that, you know, just take it to where it feels right. Without any sensation of pain. Again, scanning the body just to notice if you're still gripping on anywhere. Okay, slowly when you're ready, start to come back up. So again, take your time, there's no rush at all, moving out of it. And then this time, we're going to take the soles of your feet together. So we're going to come in for Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet touch. And again, it doesn't have to be too tight in, so you don't have to pull the heels close in. You might take them a little bit further away. You might take hold of your feet and fold them. And again, use anything that you've got. So if you want to build up a little kind of structure and rest your head on a block, on a pillow, whatever you need to do to make it feel supported is where you want to go with it. The other thing you can do is to support the knees. So if you feel that this position is not good for the inner thighs, then you could support the legs at either side as well. So you could have a block and just rest your legs on the block if it feels too much with the legs open. And adjust it. So if it feels wrong, then adjust it and make it feel right. And if you feel it relaxing a little bit, then move in a little bit more. Okay, when you're ready, slowly start to come back up. So again, taking your time as you move yourself back up. Just easing yourself out of it. Maybe bring the legs in so you could use your hands here. Now from here, we're going to transition onto your belly. So you could cross your legs over. This is just one way of getting into it. And come over the top of your feet. And then release yourself down onto your belly. So there's quite a lot of forward folding there. So we're kind of going to do the opposite of that now. I know we've still got to do the other side and a few things, but we're going to come onto your belly. If you have your feet maybe slightly wider than your hips, and if it feels comfortable, come into a Sphinx position. So if you can, have your shoulder over your elbow and then your hands spread in a straight line out to your wrists. If that is too much, then walk your hands forwards and lower yourself down a little bit more. Okay, so you just have to work where you can. So harder is with the elbows in a little bit more and the chest higher, and easier, walk your elbows out a little bit more. And you're still lifting your chest and still doing a little back bend. And then just try as much as you can to relax into it. And if it does feel too much, you can always just release your hands and lower yourself down to crocodile, just with your hands under your head and your body resting down. Try and relax the shoulders here. Any tightness in the shoulders, try and let the shoulders drop down your back a little bit. You could even lower the head a little bit if you feel it's too high. Lower the head so if your eyes are open, your gaze would be towards your mat. Okay, when you're ready, slowly, if you're not already there, release yourself all the way down. And then bring your hands so your arms are one on top of the other. Drop your forehead down. We're just coming into that crocodile posture now. So just relax down there just for a moment. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to start to make our way back up again. So if you spread your hands underneath your shoulders and then push yourself up into an all fours position again. So walk the knees in. And then from here, just press back to child's pose. So just press the bottom back towards your heels. Maybe bend your elbows and release your head down. When you're ready, slowly start to come back up again. So we're just going to move to all fours once more. So spread your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We'll do a few more of these cat-cows. So on an inhale, just drop your belly and pull the chest forward. As you exhale, just rounding through your upper back and shoulders again. So again, just do a few of these just in your own time. And we'll just do one more. And on your next inhale, you just move back to a more neutral position. So we're going to come in for pigeon on the other side. So again, we're going to slide your left knee towards your left wrist. Maybe sit back onto your left bum cheek. And again, if you do want to come in with this bent right leg, then you can, just having a kind of a right angle with your legs. And you could fold forward from there. Otherwise, come up onto your hands, center yourself, and then start to slide your right leg behind you. Again, taking a moment just to make sure that your hips feel level, that your back leg is nice and straight behind you. And if you want to grab a block, you could place it under your left hip. And then just start to lower yourself down. So just take your time, lowering yourself down towards the mat. Again, use what you have. So any cushions, any blocks, just use them. And then just start to move in again. And sometimes a little mantra can help. So you could just use a little kind of internal coach that will help you. So maybe on the inhale, you could say let, and on the exhale, go. And try and let go tension, not just in the area that feels kind of at the center of your stretch, but all over your body. So maybe allow your jaw to soften. Allow the eyes to soften. Even the scalp at the top of your head. Okay, just when you're ready, we'll start to make our way back up again. So taking your time, using your hands to come back up. And then we're just going to sit over just onto your left bum cheek. And then swing your right leg all the way around to the front. So the right leg is straight. And we're going to bring that left leg over the top of the right. So we're coming in again for half Gomukhasana. So you want to try to stack your right knee, left knee even, over the top of your right. So make sure your right leg is straight, in a straight line. Flex the foot a little bit. And again, you may stay quite high here and you could just release down, or walk your hands forward and then lower yourself. Again, use what you've got. So maybe a block or something in front of you. And if the knee is high and completely away from the other knee, then don't worry about it. Just move into it. And don't try to force it. Just take it to a point that feels right, and then just see what happens. So you might either have to back off a little bit, or maybe it'll loosen a little bit and you'll be able to move in further. And use the breath as much as you can. So another trick that you can do is to try and just count your breath. So sometimes counting the breath will help the breath to move more fluidly and also allow the body to soften. So maybe inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for the same count. When you're ready, slowly start to walk yourself back up and just taking your time to move out of it. And then we're just going to move this left leg. So if you bring your left leg to the inside of your right thigh now. So we're coming in for Janu Sirsasana again. So again, not in a forceful way, but just to where it will go. Maybe support the knee. So you could grab a block or a couple of blocks. Just support the knee and keep the right leg straight. Maybe flex your foot a little bit. And then you could use a strap here again if you have one. And maybe take hold of what you can. So your leg, your ankle, your foot. And again, maybe only doing this bit for maybe even just 30 seconds or for the first minute. And then find a place where you can just let go. So let the hands release, let the strap go. And then start to let the rest of your body go. Maybe onto a cushion or a bolster. Maybe just softening down a little. And when it becomes challenging, just refocus your breath, refocus your mind. And that's the practice. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to make our way back up again. So take your time, just walking your hands back up. But again, Take a moment when you get there, so try not to rush in or out of the postures. And then maybe just bring your legs out in front of you to give them a little shake. So we're going to move into a wide-legged forward fold now. So I'm going to turn around to see you. But if you separate your legs, and again, to any degree, bend your knees a lot here if you need to. Maybe grab something to sit on. So if you feel it's quite hard to kind of get forward onto your sit bones, then raise your sit bones forward a little bit. And then we're going to start to make our way in. So you can come in any way here. If you do feel like reaching up, then do that. And then just start to make your way forwards. And again, grab a bolster or your cushion or whatever and fold over the top of that. And if you're high still, it doesn't matter. Just try and then relax the head and the neck to any degree. So one of the benefits of the yin practice is to increase our flexibility. The thing you have to be aware of, though, is that our physical anatomy, so the structure of our bones and our joints, mean that we might never get our chest onto the ground, for example, in this posture. It's just impossible because of the way that your joints are structured. So although you'll gain some flexibility from what you were like before you start doing your yoga practice, it's not that you'll be able to do absolutely everything. It's just, you just have to be aware of our physical limitations, and trying to force yourself into postures which doesn't suit your body is not great. We just have to move in to what we have and just experience what we have with that. Okay, when you're ready, slowly start to make your way back up. So just take your time as you come up. Maybe bend your knees and bring the legs in, and you can move them about a little bit if you want to. Okay, from here, we're going to make our way down onto your back. So we'll slowly just take your time to come down onto your back. And when you come down, if you have your feet maybe hip distance apart, and we'll lift the right foot up off the ground. Just place your right ankle just on your left thigh. Maybe spread your arms here. And then we'll just drop both legs just over towards the left side. And when you get there, if it feels too much, you can always uncross your legs. And we're not staying here for 3 minutes either, so just a little twist. Maybe turn your head and look along your right arm if you want to. Again, if it feels too much, just simply uncross your legs and just have both legs over to the left. Okay, when you're ready, we'll slowly make our way back to the middle. So if you just uncross your legs, maybe place your feet on the floor and lift your hips and lay them back down so your hips are kind of level before you do the other side. And then we'll just start to lift your left foot up. So again, just place it over the top of your right thigh and just let the legs drop over towards the right. Again, if it feels too much, uncross your legs. And then maybe turn your head towards your left arm. Okay, when you're ready, slowly bring your legs back towards the center. Again, uncross your legs and press your feet down and lift the hips just gently up and then lay them back down. You bring your arms by your side. And we're going to come in for a bridge now. If you want to make it a supported bridge, a more restorative one, then you can grab a block, press through your feet, lift your hips up, and then just place the block underneath your hips. And again, the level that you use the block at will define how I guess the intensity of the sensation that you feel will increase the higher the block is. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Just start to lift your hips up and just move into a bridge position. We'll not, again, be staying here for 3 minutes, but hold it for a little bit. And start to breathe into what you find there. When you're ready, and if you have the block, then remove it. Otherwise, slowly release yourself all the way back down towards your mat. When you get there, we'll take the soles of your feet together. Just allow the knees to drop open to the side. So you could again support this if you wanted to. You could have blocks underneath your knees just to support it either side. You could use your bolster as well, just underneath the back of your thighs. You could take your hands onto your low belly and just feel your breath just moving into your body. When you're ready, we'll start to move the hands and just bring them onto your legs. And then just gently start to press the legs back together once more. If you'd like, you could draw your knees towards your chest and just give yourself a little hug. And then from here, we're going to start to move into Shavasana. So if you do have any more clothes you want to put on, so sticking some socks, a jumper might be a good idea. If you've got a blanket, you can just grab that and pull it over yourself. But anything else that you want to pop on, then do that. And then just coming into Shavasana when you're ready. So again, you could use the bolster here just underneath the back of your legs if you want to, or just have the legs wide. And again, if you've got a cushion, you could, or a pillow, you could pop that under the back of your legs as well. And as you settle in, just begin just by taking 3 deep inhales. So maybe counting for 4 as you take your inhale. And exhale. And this is called a parable of grace. A poor man visited a wealthy friend, and the two enjoyed communication, food, and drink far into the evening. After the poor man fell asleep, his friend was called away. Before he left, he sewed a priceless jewel into the lining of the poor man's coat. When the poor man awoke, he knew nothing of the gem. Years passed, difficult years for the poor man, who travelled far and wide, searching for food and clothing to keep himself alive, unaware that in the lining of his robe he carried a priceless jewel. After many years, he once again met his friend, who was astonished that he still lived in poverty. The friend showed him the jewel sewn in his robe, and the poor man was filled with gratitude and joy, knowing that he would never go hungry again. We're like that poor man. Think of a time that you received a gift that you didn't recognize in that moment. Maybe it was a piece of advice. Maybe it was meeting a new friend. Maybe it was a decision to take one path instead of another that brought you to where you are today. Our entire lives are filled with these inconspicuous moments of grace. Times when we're presented with choices or opportunities to recognize a gift in our lives. What are the moments of grace in your life? The events that changed the course of your life? These aren't just the usual milestones in life, such as leaving home, finding a partner, having children. They're also the subtle moments that resulted in our journey being what it's been. Moments without which our lives might have been remarkably different, for better or for worse. What are the moments of grace? What are the jewels in your pocket that you initially didn't know were there? gifts have you received along the way that have brought you to this time and place in your life? Take a moment to silently think about your moments of grace. When you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh out your mouth. So we'll do that again, so just deeply inhaling through your nose and just let it go. And then we'll just start to move your fingers and your toes, maybe your hands and feet. Maybe stretch your arms overhead. Bring the arms back over and start to bend the knees now. So either with the feet flat on the floor or the knees towards your chest. And just gently move side to side. If you'd like, you could also roll over onto your side. And then just when you're ready, we'll start to make our way up to sitting. So there's no rush, take your time. Maybe keep your eyes closed as you come up. And just find a comfortable seat. We'll just bring the palms together just in front of your heart. So leaving a little gap to signify an openness in your heart. Thank you so much for coming on and practicing with me this evening. I hope you enjoyed the yin practice that we did. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. That's you. Now mute yourself now. You enjoyed it. Any questions or comments?